Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Batman issue number 54. Let's get right into who created this comic book. So this issue is called The Better Man. The writer is Tom King, the artist Matt Wagner, colorist Tamu Moray. Dude, I am so sorry. Clayton Cowles did the letters. I got that one. Matt and Brennan Wagner did the cover. So, and a variant cover by Tim Sale and Brennan Wagner. So, this was a better issue, while still having its own problems, its own faults. The writing in this was, I'm just going to get the one thing I didn't like about this comic book out right now, and then I'm just going to pretty much pour praise all over the rest of it. There were a lot of things that were said in here, and the way that the word bubbles were positioned, it didn't flow. I'm one of those people, like I taught English in a university, you know what I'm saying? So I try to, doesn't sound like I speak English right now, does it? Try to say this in a nice way without just pulling out my red marker and just wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you have 3 word bubbles and you're going to put some words in them, sometimes the coolest part about what you can do is understand that you control the word bubbles. You don't have to make them 3 word bubbles. Like, there's a part in here where Batman talks, and it doesn't even sound like he's doing the ... at the end of what he's saying. Sometimes he's just saying a word, and then where he could continue, it seems like he's finishing in a different word bubble. You see what I just did there? It doesn't sound right. Like, there are unnecessary pauses, unnecessary periods, even an unnecessary comma. You're just like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I think that better control of the word bubbles would have made this comic book flow a lot better. And maybe most people aren't going to see it, but I see it, and it's painful to my eyes, to my brain, to try and make sense of why words are separated into different, why sentences are separated into different word bubbles when it really should just be all the same sentence. So shouldn't it all just be in the same word bubble? You get what I'm saying? That aside, I really liked this issue. Dick would say like a little bit too often, but it was only at certain stages of his life, which I found, if that was an accident, well, then Tom King stumbled upon something that was really cool. Because the way I see it is, we all grow, and especially in those kid to tween to teen to young adult to adult levels, our speech patterns change. I think all of us talked like a Valley Girl at one point or another. Like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't, get it. Like, you know? It's a weird thing. Even if you don't have that high pitch thing when you're talking like a Valley Girl. I hope I'm getting across my point. Dick talked in many different ways here, and I have to believe that it was intentional, because it was just too perfect. The way that it was like he was paddled off. He would talk this way at this age, this way at this age, and this way at a different age. It was hard to follow the time periods because they didn't explain anything. It did help, though, that, who is here, Mr. Matt Wagner and everybody who's involved with the art did such a fantastic job of being one art team that drew in many different patterns. They drew in different ways. It really looked like they called in a different art team for several different panels and even pages on this book. That was impressive. That was really impressive. I know I couldn't pull something like that off. I'm full disclosure, man. I don't care how long I've been drawing for. I can't draw like that, where I can just make it look like different patterns. That was really cool. I dug that. Every so often, somebody or some team comes along that can pull that off, and I'm always impressed by that. But I also felt that that Tom King, I guess that's when you put Tom and King together, it just comes off as Tim instead of Ting. Okay, back to the book. I felt like King did a great job also of taking the different time periods in everybody's life and having them speak in a different way. Not Batman so much, but in a sense, in a sense did. Like when Tim was really young as opposed to all the times when he was older. Even Bruce would talk in different ways. Listen, son, you know you're here. The nightmare is over. It's not real. He talked differently. I noticed it. I appreciated it. That was cool. As far as the story itself, it's hard to write Batman having a moment where Batman laughs or Batman cries or Batman just acts like a human. And I've been saying the entire time, one of the reasons why I like Tom King's run is because he is making him a human again. Something he always should have been, in my opinion. I get it, you want to explore and make him go out and get into a fist fight with freaking Darkseid and whatnot, but I appreciate the more Jim Starlin and Neil Adams format of Batman, where he's a human, an extraordinarily exceptional human, but a human. And King is really returning that and giving him emotions, which is something that most people just, for the most part, it would be, if not an issue, not even an issue, it'd be like a page or a panel, you know, or a quick cessation of panels to show that Batman actually had an emotion. This is brave. This is brave on the part of King, and I'm impressed by what I'm reading here. Excuse me. So, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Not a whole lot of action. There was a lot of making fun of Batman's retinue of villains, and why the heck wouldn't you? Quilt Man, Kite Man, you know what I'm saying? Jackass Man. I'm sure there's a Jackass Man out there somewhere. I'm sure he's going up against Batman at some point. Probably calling people SJWs. Anyway, all that considered, this was good. This was really good. And although I don't want to see every issue like this, the key part, the climax, if you will, for this book was when Batman had the moment. Like I'm feeling the book. That's cool. When Dick is cracking the joke about the giant penny, in my head the whole time I'm like, if you're gonna be battling for a penny, you know, betting on a penny, that's the penny you're betting on, man. So, and when it actually came to fruition, I'm like, yes, the joke. Not only did it come out, but it actually landed, and also landed with Bruce, which was cool. He had a moment of weakness, and damn it, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but he should have that moment of weakness with Clark. No, he should not have it with Superman. It should be with Dick Grayson. And I'm glad that it was here. And if there are going to be any more moments, it should have been there. I remember I said that one of the big ball drops in the preludes to the wedding was the one where Dick was asking, you know, of course it makes sense that you'd pick Superman as your best man, you know, whatever. The thing that should have been said back to Dick, the thing that Bruce should have said back was, Superman is Batman's best man. But when Bruce Wayne is ready to get married, Dick Grayson is his best man. That would have been the greatest line ever. I would have melted. That would have been the best, because here's a relationship that, like, it feels real. If anybody here has had a best friend since they were kids, you know how many times you fought. Sometimes with your fists. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that cool scar that you've got underneath your chin that's hidden by a beard is from your best friend. And since he doesn't wear a beard, you get to see his scar that I gave him. Like, that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of a friendship. I'm from Jersey. Shut up. We have different kinds of friendships there. But that's the kind of friendship that I enjoy seeing here. I dig that. So I don't even know where else to go with that. This was a really cool issue. I could read more of these. All right, guys, that's it for me. More of Batman being human, please. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.